about you this weekend? You were
well, I actually asked you if you wanted to come with me, but you were busy. But I don't want to brag, but I was backstage at the Wing Eating Championship at the Wing Fest yesterday. I was rubbing elbows with the top-ranked eater in the world. That would be #1, Joey Chestnut. He reclaimed his wing eating title by crushing 192 chicken wings in just 12 minutes. Of course, this all went down in front of a big crowd at Coca-Cola Field that you can see there, and many, many more who are watching at home on the internet on ESPN3. It was great to see him live.
Now, he didn't show up last year. Is that what the deal was?
He was a little sick. He at the last minute, he had to pull out, and the woman next to him, actually, you see right there with the red hair, Mickey Sudo, she won in his absence, but he was back this year, and it was something to see.
What's he like?
He was so nice and humble. I mean, he's the top-ranked eater in the world. He is the top-ranked athlete in his sport of competitive eating. He has all kinds of trophies and titles, and, you know, we were talking backstage. He had just eaten about 6 pounds of wings, and he couldn't have been nicer. He seemed completely with it, and it was really funny. I asked him for a photo, and I don't usually get starstruck in front of people, but I was a little bit. And I asked him for a photo, and he did that thing where we've all done this when people ask us for pictures, I think, to say, oh, I look so gross right now, or I feel so gross.
Does he really care how he, I mean, he's there on national TV stuffing his face, and he cares how he looks in a picture with you. You must have made quite the impression on him, Lauren.
I mean, you kind of believe him when he says, you know, I just ate 6 pounds of wings. So, but I did ask him what he thinks, because he does this all over the world, so I asked him what he thinks about Buffalo and how he remembers Buffalo throughout the year, and this is what he said.
It has a sweet spot in my heart because you guys party hard, and you guys go out and you get great food, and it's a great city, and people from all around the country need to party in Buffalo.
Okay, so this is Joey's second time taking home the WingFest title. 2 spots down the line from him, though, in that contest yesterday stood one of the smallest competitive eaters on the circuit with one of the biggest stomachs and the biggest hearts. 115-pound Michelle Losco has placed in the top 5 at the WingFest for the past 2 years, and she joins us now live in studio. So the morning after, how many wings did you eat yesterday? I think it was
141.
141.
Yeah. Last year was a little more.
Weight in chicken wings?
Maybe, no, a little less. I think it weighed about 5 pounds, a little over 5 pounds.
So are you happy with that number, 142?
No, I mean, it's not my highest number in a contest, but it always depends on how the wings are cooked, how the speed they're going that day. So.
And how were they yesterday? We heard they switched to the jumbo wings this year.
You know what? I'm sure they were awesome right when they came out of the oven, but they have to sit so long while they wait for us, and with the whole ESPN thing that happened this year, like even longer. Out of the oven, so they were a little dry, a little slower than last year, but.
And how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling fine this morning. This morning I'm great. I could go for some breakfast in a little bit, but.
Now, as far as being a competitive eater, and you look, obviously everybody knows who Joey Chestnut is. What do other people on the quote-unquote circuit think of Joey? Is he considered a nice guy? Is there a bit of a rivalry there?
You know what? It's always when you're at the table, you're fierce competitors, but away from the table, we're all really good friends. Joey's a great guy. Steals the show a lot, so we're always trying to take that from him. But he trains hard, and he's tough to beat. So.
And how do you train? Because I've read this. You all say that about each other, that you all train hard. What does that mean? How do you train?
For me, it looks like sitting in front of a table going, I can't believe I have to eat this for 10 minutes. Because the 10 minutes at home, when there's not the crowd, when there's not the... It's forever. So I always kind of do fundraisers tied to my competitive eating so that when we hit goals, then I can do a practice run and film it and put it on YouTube. And then it's not like, oh my God, I have to sit here by myself. At least there's people who are going to watch it, who are donating, who are going to be there with it. So.
And when you're all up on the line, I noticed yesterday how close, you were closer together than we are right here.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if it would be easier to do it on your own, like you're just describing, or with all the people around you.
You know what? It's easier with the people because of the crowd, but we were crammed in there yesterday. We had 14 people on the stage, which is not usually. We have a little more elbow room usually, so our cups were jammed up against each other.
Wings aren't easy to eat.
To begin with,
I was going to throw some elbows.
That crowd. You have an interesting nickname too, don't you?
Cardboard Shell. Yeah, it's probably the worst nickname in competitive eating.
How'd you get that?
Self-aware. The saying goes that when I order takeout, nothing's left, not even the box. So.
I like that. What's your favorite thing to eat for takeout?
Usually, I don't do a whole lot of takeout. I like ribs and wings in general.
So you still like all these foods
buffalo wings are still one of my favorite things in the world. So.
Love hearing that.
Do you have a go-to spot when you're not competitively eating wings?
You know, I'm from Tucson, Arizona, so every time I'm up here, I ask where the best spot is, and I always hear something different. Someone told me a bowling alley this time.
See, that's the great thing about Western New York, though, because they're great pizza and wings everywhere. They really are. Yeah.
Yeah, especially at a bowling alley. So what's next? What's the next competition? For
Next for me is Louisville, Texas. We're doing tamales down there next month. So I guess
is it hard
this
to eat
month
something
now.
that's so spicy so fast?
You know what? Tamales are usually pretty awful. They're a tough one to handle later. It's just a whole lot of spices.
All right, Michelle, the cardboard shell. Let's go join us live in studio. Great job downing all those wings this morning. I don't believe you weigh 115 pounds this morning.
Yeah, probably
Maybe
120. Probably 120.
All right, thanks so much.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming to Buffalo
Thank you
and
for having
promoting
us.
the city and our wings so much. Okay.